What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fan? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast networking channel. Giving a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shad, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right. That's right. Everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel. Help make the show the best that it can be. Boy, oh boy, we got some grand news over the past couple of days by one Michael Jordan, who will serve as a contributor to NBC as it will start televising NBA games again coming up beginning next season, as they did during the 90s. And I remember when NBC took over the broadcasting rights of the NBA from CBS. It actually took me about a season to get used to it, because I know it's a lot of fans from the 90s who love the NBC telecast as well as the intro theme music. And it grew on me. It took a year. And then once it grew on me, I was like, okay, yeah, this is on. This is on. But when someone asked me, which network was the best at televising NBA games and who carried the best production, I often say it's a tie, because CBS, they had a hell of an intro back in the day, and they knew how to stage the battle that was soon to come. So, but it's great news, man. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan meant a lot to the NBA. And what I always remember about his career, man, is that not one time during his career, not one time, I'm talking about from his rookie year, through his ascension as a player, during the battles with the Detroit Pistons, becoming champions, first three-peat, retirement, return back. He loses to Orlando in the playoffs. He comes back in full shape, NBA shape. Leads a historic storybook season for the ages, man. And up until his second three-peat, the flu game, just everything that accomplished his career, man. And even during the his years with the Washington Wizards, to me, his years in Washington really showed the essence of who he was. If you took away, the dunks, the hang time, and all that, man, he showed you who he was in essence during those 2 years with Washington. But I never got an impression that he ever thought that he was bigger than the game. He never spoke. He never carried himself as such, Even when it was crystal clear he was the best player in the NBA. He just never came across like he always said, he had something to prove. There's always something that he needed to prove, you know. So when I look back on it, man, you know, he set such a standard. He set such a standard because he never shortcutted the game. And and I think that's the best way to put it. I never really thought about it in those terms until now. The standard that he set was established to such a degree, and it's because he never shortcut the game on any level. Whether it was through practice, we heard about his, how he approached practice, just everything, man. He never sold the fans short. You never felt that he never gave his all. So, and because of that, I believe all those attributes ultimately culminated in his championship record in the finals of 6-0. And a lot of people are mad at that, man. A lot of people. And they trying to bring him down, trying to quote unquote humanize him, even though he was a human being achieving otherworldly accomplishments, man. They trying to chisel away at his career, stage by stage by stage. And, he's basically remained silent. He has not said anything. And now that he's returning back to the NBA as a contributor, which I don't know what that's going to entail, but I would like to think that, I think whatever he communicates is going to show who he is in essence as to what made him Michael Jordan. I don't think he's going to try to prove a point. I don't think he's going to be comparing errors. I just think he's going to speak the game in such an absolute manner that it's going to it's going to extend beyond generations, you know, to where you can learn something from what he's saying for years to come, for decades to come, while appreciating what's going on now and also upholding the past history. I believe that's what he's going to do. I could be wrong. It remains to be seen. But like I said, when you look back at this man's career, there hasn't been a rookie that has entered the NBA since Michael Jordan, who averaged 28 points a game. And that was back in 1984. So we're talking about 41 seasons. And there's been a lot of great rookies who came into the league, a lot of great big men, you know, the number one picks, you know, I mean, from, Patrick Ewing to Shaquille O'Neal, Purvis Ellison, Derek Coleman, Penny Hardaway, Chris Webber, Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, Jerry Stackhouse. I mean, we can go on and on and on. David Robinson. You see what I'm saying? Victor Wembanyama, who had a great rookie season. I thought Victor Wembanyama had a great rookie season. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony. So many great players, man. So many great players. And nobody has done that, man. So at that, even during his rookie season, he was setting the standard. You know, starting off with a team, that had not experienced playoff success for years, going back to probably around the 70s, late 70s, somewhere around there at that point. And they was playing in a different conference too. They used to play in the Western Conference during the Jerry Sloan years when Norm Van Leer, if I'm not mistaken, and his name Bob Love. But at the end of the day, he has such a standard, and it still reverberates today. And it's almost like the way they talk about him. The real cash cow of the NBA is Michael Jordan. That's because they bring him up every day. Like, can you imagine a player who retired in 2003? They talk about him as if he is still out on the floor competing. It's not about, it ain't like when you bring up, like, let's say when you bring up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay, we know he retired. He retired in 1989. But they don't bring up his name in a manner in which they try to tear down his career. They may just speak on, the sky hook, being able to play the way he did at the center position for 20 years, him being the greatest male college basketball player of all time. But you know that they speak of him in the context of not trying to compare him to nobody and not trying to compare nobody to him. You see what I'm saying? But with Michael Jordan, they've been trying to chisel away at this dude practically for the past 10 years, man. I've sat there and seen it, read bogus articles, man, and it's really hurt the NBA. And like I said, with these playoffs going on right now, these playoffs have been great. What I like about it is they allow the physicality, and you see how effective defense is. When I say physicality, I'm not talking about being dirty. I'm talking about being allowed to be aggressive on defense, man, to where you don't see players hitting the three ball as they would do throughout the course of the regular season. And I believe that's what hurt the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs this year, where it was looking like they was headed to the finals. And then they met a physical Indiana team that pressed them on defense at the 3-point line, and they couldn't hit the three. You see what I'm saying? So this is what older basketball fans or either former players are trying to allude to when they say defense matters, man. It matters. And, when they run you off that 3-point line, you really have to have an interior game, a mid-range game, and go-to moves to excel as an elite scorer. That's what your elite scorers back then. They had to have go-to moves and being able to operate in that paint or mid-range, especially when it comes to two guards or wing players. So, in closing, man, I just want to do this quick video, man. It's good to see Michael Jordan back, man, because really, the way he's been talked about, man, it be constant too, man. It's like when you really think about it, and I think people can't comprehend that they constantly attack him, as well as newfound fans who have been led to attack him. When you look at that championship record, a 6-0, and he more than likely spotted the League Two championship to go play another sport while he was in his prime. You think of all the great players who have competed in this league, man, who are all-time greats. They've at least experienced defeat in the finals at least one time, dog. At least one time. Even the late great Bill Russell, he did experience defeat in the finals. It did come down to a 7 game. It came out to a point, but nonetheless, he experienced that. So, that's the highest level of disappointment when you lose in the championship round. Michael Jordan never lost in the finals, man. Never. So he don't know what it feels like, man, to end the series on a sour note, where that lingers throughout the course of the off season. You have to carry that into the next season, try to bounce back from that. You know what I'm saying? He never experienced that, man. That's huge, man. And that creates such a separation between his peers, his contemporaries, as well as those players who followed him, man. That's why I say the NBA is on the precipice of having another great era. It's a lot of amazing young talent in this league, and I keep stressing that point. The problem over these past 15 years is not talent or the lack thereof, it's mentality. Superstars, prime superstars, franchise level players are not supposed to be joining forces, dog. Period. At the end of the day. And we seeing right now, you ain't gotta have no super. I never believed you had to have a super team to win a championship. Never. Never believed it. I always held on to that belief and that notion. You don't have to have a super team. It's a problem if you feel that you have to stack the deck to win. Something's wrong. Something's missing. But these young stars, they want to lead the NBA into the future. And they grabbing the lead by the horns as we speak. I think it's a great thing, man. And that's what's going to save the NBA. And I believe what Michael Jordan's going to do. And I'll shut this down. I believe what he's going to do, man. I don't think he's going to be honest. I believe he'll say, something to the fact of what players need to do to get better without tearing down the style of play that we've been accustomed to as of late. Because you can do that. Because it's not a talent issue of lack thereof. It's mentality. It's trying to accelerate the process to achieve a winning result. And that's not how teams were built back then. And when they drafted a player predominantly with about 3 years of college experience, they was more prepared to come in right away, man, and be the building block to a franchise looking to win a championship one day. You see? So I think Michael Jordan's going to stress that. But I don't think he's going to turn anything down, man. He definitely ain't going to get into that. I don't think he's going to get into that GOAT talk because I think he know who he is, and his resume speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? And I think he will speak highly of the young talent, which he's done that. I remember an interview he did a couple years ago. I think that was when did Charlotte host I think they was planning on hosting the All-Star game that particular season. And then he said, this league has a lot of tremendous young talent in it right now. So and on a closing note, I remember when he gave his press conference for his announcing his first would turn out to be his first retirement in 1993, and he was asked a question. He said, "Do you think someone will come along that can be better than you?" He said, "Of course." He said, "I believe that. They're gonna have to have the same work ethic. They're not gonna be able to take shortcuts to achieve that." But he said, I'm very satisfied in terms of his output and what he gave to the game. He said, "I'm very secure in what I've accomplished." So he's never said he was the end all be all. See, he's never said that. So I believe he's gonna. I don't see him slighting players. I don't see him hyping anything up. I just see him speaking about basketball in the absolute nature, which pretty much how he always did. So that's just my take on it, man. But a lot of people are mad at him because he set the bar so high. What I mean by high, man, is like, all I can say is this. All I can say is this. When he went to the finals for the first time in 1991, beating the two-time defending champion Detroit Pistons, by the way, and he was about to face the Los Angeles Lakers team who upset the Portland Trailblazers, who had the best team in the league talent-wise, who was picked to win it all, and had the league's best record of 63-19, 63 wins, 19 losses. So and the Lakers were favored to win the title over the Bulls because of their experience, because of Magic Johnson. And when the Bulls clinched that championship, and when Michael Jordan was in that locker room, man, with his wife by his side and the team chaplain, you just knew in your heart, man, how hard he had to work to get to that point. And you just knew in your heart of hearts, man, that he broke through. It was nothing that nobody can do, and when nobody gonna beat him, man. And like Phil Jackson always said, it's hard to beat that dude in a 4 out of 7. You may get 2 on average. You may get the finals. Every final he played in, the first one against the Lakers, it was 5 games. Then he won 6 games versus Portland, 6 games versus Phoenix, 6 games versus Seattle, 6 games versus Utah in the initial matchup, and then 6 games in the rematch that Utah was favored to win. So a game 7, think about it. This dude, he was so driven, he was so complete that in the finals, he never even allowed a 2-1 deficit, much less going 7 games. So you know what that means? That means he was unbeatable. Think about it. He goes into Phoenix, him and the Chicago Bulls. Phoenix had the best record in the league. They had the MVP Charles Barkley in his prime. That was a brand new arena. Phoenix won 62, 63 games that year. And the Bulls went up in there and won the first 2 games of the finals on the road, man. He won the first 2 finals games on the road. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? So he was unbeatable, people. At the end of the day, in a team sport such as basketball, he was always the constant driving force. And he never had a bad performance in totality. When his number was called, he delivered, man. And the fact that he delivered every time when his number was called, when it was money time, that's what made him unbeatable, dog. Like, you can get a superstar, they can deliver 85% of the time or 90% of the time, but you eventually someone gonna catch him. You know what I'm saying? This dude, nobody called him, dog. You see what I'm saying? But this league can be great. You don't have to be. Think about it. If you're a basketball player and you reach a point in your career where the consensus is that you are the game's best player during the time that you're playing, man, you've accomplished a lot. You ain't gotta be viewed as the greatest player ever, man, to be respected and to carry a positive direction for the league, man. Just going out there and competing as a superstar. You see, because think about it. When you watching these playoffs, man, these teams out here battling, playing hard, you ain't thinking about no GOAT. You thinking about, you thinking about the game. You thinking about the game at that moment. So I think Jordan, man, I think his presence, man, is going to help restore a lot of things, dog. A lot of things, man, because everybody know he didn't take no shortcuts. And everybody know he competed at the highest level. And you can bring your B game, you can bring your B plus game, you can bring your A minus game. You had to bring your absolute best just to say that you can compete with him. Because if you didn't, if you flinched for a split second, you already beat. It's already a wrap. And that was Michael Jordan, man. I sat there and watched him, man. I've been watching NBA a long time, man. This sums it up, and I'll shut it down. This sums it up. Game 1 of the 92 NBA Finals. I'm telling people, young fans out there, Chicago Bulls versus Portland Trailblazers. The odds were even. Portland had a 3-year run where they had the deepest team in the league. 1990, 1991, 1992. Going into that series all season long, you can pull it up. You can search it and say Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Sports Illustrated. And you'll pull it up. And the title of the edition that week, Sports Illustrated, it was called Collision Course. Everybody anticipated Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler squaring off for the title, man, because they were the two best players in the league that year. Jordan was that was his third MVP, his second consecutive MVP. Clyde was runner up. Clyde Drexler was often viewed as the Michael Jordan of the West. So going into that finals, man, you really didn't know who was gonna win, man. The odds were even, dog. And a lot of people thought that Clyde Drexler could be on Michael Jordan level. So think about that, man. The stakes were so high. The anticipation was building up over the whole year. It wasn't just like during the playoff time where they got hot. No, it was building up all year long. So it was like before tip off, man, you sweating already like, man, shit, man. I don't know who's gonna win this, man. And that game 1, dog, that first half, Jordan game was so clean, dog. His game was so tight. Think about it, man. He scored 35 points in the first half of game 1 of the finals, right out the gate, setting the tone. And he hit them 6 3-pointers, man. And he hit that last one with the famous shrug. You know what I'm saying? When the announcer said, what the world coming to? He is hot. At that moment, I remember I jumped out. I said, "You the best." I said, "You got it, man. You the best player I've ever seen." And it just happened spontaneously. It wasn't like it wasn't like a contrived response. It was so spontaneous. Like, you got it, dog. You the best player I've ever seen. Period. I mean, he brought that out of you, dog. In the heat of competition, the championship on the line, you going against a player like Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler wasn't no joke. Phi Jamma University, Houston, Cougars. You know what I'm saying? Clyde Drexler's at worst, he's considered a top 5 shooting guard ever. You got Jordan, Kobe, Jerry West, probably Dwayne Wade, and then Clyde Drexler. So what we talking about? And Jordan went out there, man, and like you said, I took it personal, dog. And it was crazy about it. This talk about Scottie Pippen, man, this ain't the not Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was the best number 2 player in the NBA. Playing alongside Michael Jordan all them years. He built this game up to that point. He was an overachiever. Playing alongside Michael Jordan, he was an overachiever. But in those defining moments, man, when the Bulls had to have it and set the tone, Michael Jordan was there every single time, in every defining moment. You see what I'm saying? The flu game, averaging 40 points in the finals, 48-8. Averaging 31 points, 31 and a half points, and over 11 assists a game in the finals. So, look, I just love giving credit where credit due, man. I just want the NBA to come back, man. I want real competition to come back, which it is. It's slowly coming back. And it's slowly correcting itself. And what better person to kind of set the tone for that, to really push it in that direction, help, lead it in that direction than Michael Jordan, man, And he and the Kobe Bryants of the world, Kobe Bryant, man, he influenced a lot of players in a great way, man. A lot of players in a great way that Julius Randle spoke on a couple days ago, during the post game pressure. But I'm looking forward to it, man. He set the bar so high, man. It's hard, man. It's hard to attain it, dog. But like I said, you ain't got to be. As long as you play, give your 100% and help the NBA move forward in the future, you making an awesome contribution. And if these players just look at it like that, And the people covering the NBA, I'm talking about real aficionados, dog. I ain't talking about these pseudo aficionados. I'm talking about these real aficionados. If they uphold the history of the game and express the standard that was established by those past luminaries of this sport, that's going to encourage the young players to do the same thing. And I believe because of that, when you highlight the standard, we'll see less criticism about, lackadaisical play or low management, players taking games off. I believe a lot of that will be eliminated, man. I think a lot of this is created out of entitlement. I think a lot is created out of entitlement that's been cast over these past 15 years because the competitive mindset has been compromised. Once that's restored and that pride returns back and what it means to be a superstar, to lead your team, a lot of that would dissipate, man. I ain't saying you got to play all 82 games. I ain't saying that, but just going out there, giving a great effort, trying to play as much as you can. That's all we asking as fans, dog. Every player back in the day didn't play 82 games, but they went out there, man, and represented, dog. They didn't take games off. That's what I'm saying. And I think Michael Jordan can help restore that, man. And then from that point on, man, the NBA be on point for its current time. You see what I'm saying? But I love basketball a lot, man. I love the NBA, man, and it's been a lot of negative commentary about the league, man. And it's time to end that. It's time to move on, dog. It's time. It's been time, dog. It's been time. It's been time. But leave your comments and thoughts, people. I'd like to hear your feedback. Until next time, once again, this has been JB for BTB Behind the Bench.